Hello class, this is lecture 5 of topic linear transformation. Today in this lecture we will study a topic, the dimension theorem. Before proceeding to the topic of the dimension theorem, under this section, firstly we will study two special subspaces associated with the linear transformation known as kernel of L and the range of L. Kernel of L is a subspace of your domain vector space and range of L is a subspace of your codomain. And under this section, we will study how we can calculate the basis for both these subspaces, and moreover, if we want to calculate the dimension of these two subspaces, how it is related to the rank of any matrix of a linear transformation. So next, I'll start with the definition of these two subspaces. Firstly, the definition of a kernel. Let L from V to W be a linear transformation. Then kernel of L denoted by KER of L is the subset of all the vectors in V that map to zero vector in W vector space. Means kernel of L or kernel of this linear transformation L, which is defined from a V vector space to W vector space, will be a subset of all the vectors in V such that these are going to zero vector in W. Means this is a subset which contains all the vectors from a main vector space V which are mapping to zero vector in W. It is also known as null space. Second is the range. The range of L is a subset of all the vectors in W that are image of some vectors in V. Means range of L, it consists of all the elements L of V such that your V belongs to capital V. Here, as you know, we define a linear transformation from one vector space to another vector space, right? So kernel is what? This is set of all those elements of V which are mapping towards the zero vector in W. That is okay. For the range, the main concern is why we have considered only those V belongs to V such that they are having some image vector in V. Because as you are defining any linear transformation, we took a linear transformation from R square to R cube or from R cube to R square. Both are main vector spaces consisting of number of elements in these vector spaces. But while defining a linear transformation from one vector space to another vector space, we define a linear transformation in a well-defined manner. When you are defining a linear transformation in a well-defined manner from one vector space to another vector space, you just choose some of the elements of both the vector space. It never happens that you are making a linear transformation from one vector space to another vector space and it consists of all the elements of the vector space. No, that's why the range of L is what? Range of L is L of V such that V belongs to capital V. Means range will consist of all the vectors in W which are image of vector in V. Means how we have defined the linear transformation, because while defining a linear transformation from say R square to R cube, it is not necessary that we are considering all the vectors of R cube. So under the range, it will be the image of only those vectors, the vectors which are part of your vector space V as we have defined the linear transformation. So a small note, kernel is a subset of the domain, okay, because it consists of all those V's which are mapping toward the zero vector in W. Range is a subset of your codomain. It is a subset of codomain, or you can say these are the images of all the vectors in V. And kernel is the pre-image of the subspace 0W because it consists of all the vectors in V which are mapping towards 0W. 0W is a zero vector in W vector space. Range of L is a subspace of W. Next, there is one result. If L is a linear transformation from V to W, then kernel of L is a subspace of V and range of L is a subspace of W. You can also prove this theorem by showing two properties. Firstly, you need to check that both the sets should not be non-empty. If both the sets are non-empty, then to show that kernel is a subspace of V, you need to check two properties, closure under addition and under scalar multiplication. Similarly, for the range of L, if this is not a non-empty subset, then to show that this is a subspace of W, you need to check only two properties, closure under addition and closure under scalar multiplication. Now, few examples. The first example is a projection. Which type of linear transformation is known as projection? We call those linear transformations as a projection if it is mapping some of the coordinates to 0. And here also you can say under this linear operator, this is known as linear operator because this is a linear transformation from the same vector space to same vector space only and defined as where all the coordinates a3, an, they are going to 0. When few of the coordinates or all of the coordinates are going towards 0, these type of linear transformations are known as projections. Now, if we need to find out the kernel of this linear transformation will be all those elements of V which are mapping to 0 vector. Now, 0 vector of R is to power n is 0, 0, 0, 0. Now, if you see how the linear transformation is defined here, means it consists of, the kernel will consist of all those elements of V which are going toward a 0 vector. And when this vector will be 0, when a1 and a2 is also equals to 0. But a3, an can have any value because as the transformation is defined, a3, an can have any value, even though by definition of this transformation they are going to 0 only. So to find out the vectors of V which are mapping to 0 vectors, the only thing is for a1, a2 equals to 0. That means kernel of L will consist of all those vectors where a1 and a2 are 0 and a3 to an can have any value because as the transformation is defined from a3 to an, they are automatically going to 0 only. So with these values of V, if you will find out the image of these type of vectors under this linear transformation, it will be equals to 0 vector only. So this becomes the element of your kernel of L. And dimension of this kernel will be equals to n minus 2. Generally, when you need to find out the dimension of the kernel or the range of L, it is seen as the number of independent variables here. If you see in this particular vector, the number of independent variables are n minus 2. So the dimension will be equals to this. Another way around, how you can calculate the dimension? By seeing the basis for this, or you can see that which vectors are spanning your kernel of L. If you can see that here, which vectors will span this particular vector, this will be E3, E4 up to En, because you can write this vector in a linear combination of 0, 0, A3. Firstly, you will take A3 into E3 because E3 vector is what? Having 1 only at third position and others will be equals to 0. And E4 vector is having 1 at the fourth position and other coordinates equals to 0. So you can check that this set consists of n minus 2 elements, so dimension will be equals to this. Otherwise, a very simple way to find out the dimension of any kernel or the range of L is to find out the number of independent variables. Here you can clearly see the number of independent variables are n minus 2. Secondly, the range of L is equals to this because this is how the linear transformation is defined here. Clearly, this is a subspace of your codomain. And now see the number of independent variables here. The number of independent variables here are A1 and A2. So dimension of range of this set is equals to 2. Another way around, you can also check that the vectors E1 and E2 will span this range of L. So the dimension is also equals to 2. Now, example number 2 is differentiation, means the linear transformation is defined in terms of the derivative. This is a linear transformation from P3 to P2, means polynomials of degree 3 to polynomial of degree 2, taking one-time derivative. So this is how the linear transformation is defined here. Now to find out the kernel of this thing, what we need to calculate all those elements of P3 which are mapping to 0 polynomial in P2. Now 0 polynomial in P2 means this thing will be equals to 0, means 3ax square plus 2bx plus c equals to 0. If you keep this polynomial equals to 0, clearly this can happen if and only if a is 0, b is 0 and c is 0. So if I'll substitute a, b, c equals to 0, then the main elements of this vector will become 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus d. That means kernel of L will consist of all those elements of P3 where a, b, c are 0 plus d where d is a real number. That means kernel of L is a subset of P cube of all constant polynomials, because here the coefficient of x cube, x square and x is equals to 0 and it consists of only constant polynomials. Now here if you will see, the number of independent variable is 1 only because other terms are 0. If you want to write down it in a vector form, it will be written as 0, 0, 0, 1 or 0, 0, 0, d. The number of independent variable is 1, so dimension is equals to 1. Another way around also you can see that the single polynomial 1 can span this complete kernel of L, because you can keep on multiplying 1 with different real numbers, you can get the complete subset of kernel of L. Second is range of L. So range of L consists of all polynomials of the form 3ax square plus 2bx plus c, or in other form it can be written as ax square plus bx plus c. This is a polynomial of degree 2. If I compare number 1 with this, I can say that small a is equals to a by 3, small b is equals to b by 2, small c is equals to c. So basically range of L is all of P2, or you can say this is a subspace of P2. Now here if you will see, the number of independent variables are a, b, c. If you write this in the form of a vector, it will be written as a, b, c. The number of independent variables here are 3. So dimension of this thing is equals to 3. Next example is rotation. And we have already discussed the types of this linear transformation in lecture number 1. So this is an example of a rotation linear transformation, and the kernel will consist of all the vectors which are mapped to 0 vector. And under this transformation, we know that when the image will be equals to 0, when itself the vector xy is equals to 0. That means only 0, 0 itself will map to 0 vector. There is no other vector which will map to 0. Here your angle theta is already fixed. So the 0 vector will depend upon the values of x and y only, and 0, 0 itself will map to 0 vector. So kernel of L will consist of this vector only, that is 0, 0, and clearly this is a subspace of R square, and dimension of this thing is equals to 0. Now here you can see this is a subspace of R square and dimension of this thing is equals to 0. The thing which I was telling you while defining the kernel and range, this is a subspace of R square. R square is a very bigger set. While defining the linear transformation, we put some restriction over these vector spaces and define the linear transformation accordingly. Now range of L is the codomain R square, where every non-zero vector in R square will be having an image, and obviously it is equals to R square because x and y can take any value from your real numbers. So this is basically a subspace of R square, and dimension of this will be equals to 2 because range is nothing but R square only and dimension of R square is 2. What is the basis for the R square? If you remember, this is 1, 0 and 0, 1. Sometimes you write it as E1, E2 also. Next is finding the kernel from the matrix of a linear transformation. So this we will do in a next video.